I was
This
like,
very hearty laugh.
like that. And I was like, so darling, here we are again. And that's why I love doing that accent, because that was her accent. And then I didn't. So I'm going to give you an example of one thing that you and I experienced and how it translated into our regular daily life, and how that can also affect you too if you also let your past lives speak to you. So I'm not going to go into a lot of personal detail because it's very personal, but I will tell you, we will talk a little bit about it. So Riz and I one time were sitting in the couch and we were journeying, and it was in the early days when we first got together. And I, all of a sudden, I'll never forget it for as long as I live. There was this moment where I was like sitting back, and all of a sudden my body like lurched forward, and then I threw myself back and I started laughing, and I was
This
like,
very hearty laugh.
like that. I was like, so darling, here we are again. And that's why I love doing that accent, because that was her accent. And then I didn't know who was talking through me. And then you responded with the same laugh.
But very dry.
Very dry and very like low and like rolling your like.
Oh, well, darling, here we are again. So it was, we remembered together a past life we had in 1800s England.
Yeah.
Where we were part of this, we weren't aristocratic, and we were kind of like somewhere between that and not, again,
like
not
we were
there.
Invited to the aristocratic parties.
You just got the invite.
Yeah, we'd go home and talk about it.
You got it by the skin of your teeth to the party. We were like those people.
We were shorter. Which was funny because we're so tall.
Yeah.
You're 6'3".
I'm 6'3". You're like, you're almost 5'11".
So we were really, really, petite, both of us.
Yeah.
And we were robust and funny, and we were hilarious.
And we remembered ourselves much older.
We were older.
What would you say, 65, 67,
and
around that age?
it was in London, and we lived in the city. And how did we know all this? Well, what happened was, while we started talking, we literally started talking to each other as if we came back from that time period and caught up with each other and said, okay, well, here we go again.
Yeah, we put our arms around each other like this, and we were leaning back on the couch, and we were like, okay, so here we are. Here we are living in Los Angeles, California. And
it was so funny. And we were making jokes, and the jokes were hilarious. Yeah. And then we started to get the download and started to understand that this was actually one of our past lives.
Yeah.
So fast forward all these years later, it's almost as if there's like a shadow, or like it feels like they're with us. This version of us is always with us, and they're like our humor, our sense of humor. They're the partiers. They're the ones that like to have a good time and like to get into society and like have fun, mingle and everything. And oh my God, like they've enhanced our lives in so many ways, because we know that version of us, and we're absolutely obsessed with anything from that time period, especially if it's in England.
It's really interesting because there are many things that you guys
we understand it. Like all the foods, and so do I.
Well, you're drawn to objects and even architecture and things that you'll find that these are things that are from a past life, which brings me to, like,
you and I will go do those tours, those historic tours of those older homes, every city we go to.